bitches?
Sup, bitches?
How's it going, everybody? Ladies.
It's going.
Dominique, what are you doing? You got the sky above you?
Just last minute errands and heading home now.
All right.
You know, I feel like they should have, if they're going to make Tesla so fucking fancy, why is that not a huge, like, digital green screen that you can, like, change shit to?
Yeah.
Like, you can make it a night sky, starry. No?
I don't know.
I feel like for as much as it was.
Hi, Nisa. Welcome, babe. You're here early today.
I'll send a message to
early. Oh, what happened?
Do it.
There we go.
Oh, there
we go.
That's funny.
What have you been up to lately, Anissa?
Tosh did some shit yesterday.
Oh, yeah. We went to the San Diego soccer match. San Diego.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant the thing after.
Oh, well, we went to see San Diego Football Club down in San Diego, obviously. And then afterwards, we like popped into this Irish pub because we just wanted to get like a drink and some appetizers because we weren't quite hungry enough for like dinner. But anyway, so we did. And then they had a random emo cover band there. So that was kind of fun. We ended up sticking around for like another hour and a half or so for that. But it was a lot of fun. We didn't get to eat anything because there were no seats. That place was packed.
Just the two of you, or?
Yeah, it was just two of us. The kids didn't want to go. But then they're at the pub afterwards. There were a ton of little kids, like toddlers and shit, rocking out. Yeah. There's a little girl, she had to have been 8 or 9, and she's singing along to like half the songs there. I was like, well done, parents. Well done. Hi, Nora. Welcome, babe.
Wonder if it's like
baseball and softball games every day. Oh, my God. How many of your grandkids are in it? Like all of them? Every day is like excessive.
So who's a soccer fan? Are both of you guys?
What was that?
Who's a soccer fan? Are both you guys into soccer, or was it just something you guys decided?
CJ's always been really into soccer. Oh. Always loved it. I enjoy watching it more than some other sports, really. But it's pretty entertaining, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see
it's
that.
fast paced. There's no like waiting, except for like if someone gets hurt. You know.
But when people get hurt, that's entertainment too, right?
Yeah, it is. And there was a goodie too. Okay. Oh my God. This guy got fully taken out by his own fucking goalie because he was running alongside like it was the other team, but they were running alongside like our team and their team, and the goalie is coming at them to like stop them, obviously. But like instead of like waiting back, he comes out of his goal at both of them. And so our guy goes to go around him, about to fucking shoot his shot, right? But their own teammate, they collide. And not a little bit. This guy's running dead at his goalie. The goalie decides he's going to leap in the air, thinking he can jump 6 feet over this fucker. I have no idea. But anyways, he goes to like leap and fucking basically punches the guy in the fucking face.
They need the rugby guys. They do that.
The fuck out. This guy was out for like 5 minutes. Out. Laying there. Out. This shit was so entertaining though. I was like, wow. They pull the goalie though, because that was dangerous behavior. Anyway, we lost, so that was super disappointing. I'm fucking tired of their like star player not being like a star player. He sucks. He's not great, but they like bought him from Mexico, so they think he's like super fucking fabulous, and everybody's excited about him, but he's really not that great.
They bought him from Mexico.
Yeah. Well, so you can like.
I know what she means. It's the way it sounds. Like
yeah, you can like borrow players from like around the world, and that's how they build these teams. But anyways, they got this like star player thinking he was going to be this like amazing hotshot, right? And he got injured in the first game, pulled out. So no one even got to see anything that he could do. He was out for the next 6 games. They either won or tied their first 6 games. And they are a brand new team. They literally did their first season ever. And so as a brand new team, they are winning or tying their first 6 games. They're doing great. They're like second in our conference. Super exciting, right? Soon as that fucker comes off of his like injury, soon as he comes back, he's shit. The entire team has done nothing but lose since then. They've lost 4 games in a row since he came back. And
Anyway,
he's done almost nothing. So
I
fucking
don't
pointless.
watch soccer, but I did watch Ted Lasso. So
Oh my God. I was trying to tell you guys about that. That shit is so fucking good.
yeah.
Oh, everybody should watch Ted Lasso. Everyone.
Yeah.
So entertaining. All right. 2 place select and city. And then 5 place city league. Oh my God. You're the best grandma, I swear. They are so lucky.
Wow.
So who else is here? We've got Jessica and Teen. Hi, ladies. What are you guys all up to? Still doing my hair, so I'll be listening. Jump back in to discuss when I'm done. Sounds good. Then we'll just chit chat and hang out until then. Anyways, did he get back in the game? So no, they ended up having to pull the guy out after he got completely fucking knocked out. They had to have like med come in. The doctor would like ran on the field, and then they eventually, when he finally woke up, they walked him off and replaced him. But that was a little scary. Certainly fucking entertaining. I would definitely go watch it again. Soccer's fun. It's fast.
I do enjoy hockey live. I feel like there's always something.
That's another one that's like entertaining.
Yeah.
It's not
No matter
like
what.
yeah, it's just constantly moving. There's no
Listen, my girlfriend started watching hockey after reading all the hockey books.
Hockey books.
Yes.
hockey porn.
Yes, Dominique. Hockey rom.
I can
I don't think
see
it's
that.
funny. I don't think it is. I think it's just romance. I think it's hockey romance.
Yeah, I love Ted Lasso. That shit. I thought I was gonna hate it just because he's got a fucking annoying face with his like perfect mustache and hair. I love it so much. So much.
I've never seen it.
Not a big sport game.
It's
What I like is that the episodes are like 24 minutes long. So when you like don't have a lot of time to invest but want something entertaining, you could just watch an episode. You know?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm tired. I'm just gonna go to sleep. Or I'm gonna go do something else. But like you feel like semi-productive. You know, rather than like just like scrolling.
They're not always like
What?
some are
Don't
like,
get on my scrolling. Okay, it's a sport in itself. All right. Do you know how many calories I burn doing this?
2.
1.
Exactly. Not enough. Not enough. Let me see how fat that finger is with how often you use it.
Hold on.
You be fucking muscular, bitch. Can't do it. Can't do it.
I can't because my nails are in the way. My fingers are trying to get over my nails. Tosh sent us a weird middle finger picture earlier. She's pinching her thumb and her pinky together, and then she's putting either of the ring and index on either side.
My finger can't go up. It stays down. Like that?
I can get that, but like my
No. So put your pinky and thumb together first. And then you put your finger on the outside.
Yeah.
Outsides, not insides. She was tucking them in. They're going to be like, why are you guys even doing this? I just sent a photo of my hand doing this to both of them earlier. And
I said it was just a very elegant looking way, or I don't know.
yeah, right?
No, it literally looked like a cathedral. I mean, I don't know, it's because my nails are painted, right? But it was just like, why are you creating such an elaborate fucking middle finger?
She's elegant with it. She's like, grace.
Can't do it. Yeah, apparently
It's
not
harder
graceful.
with my non-dominant hand. With my dominant hand, I can do it.
Or all y'all out there doing it.
Yes.
Practicing.
But
I didn't even
also my
try with
nails, like they rub together the tips, so it's a little bit harder with my nails.
I didn't even try with my non-dominant, but that one is harder. Or with my dominant hand, it's harder.
This finger does not want to like stay.
Won't cooperate. Well, anyway, So I had an entertaining yesterday. It felt like we got 2 dates in one because we got like our day date soccer game. That was fun. Then we got our like evening date.
That's nice.
Whether or not you're into emo cover bands doesn't matter. That shit was fun as fuck.
Hey, any cover band.
And the band clearly was younger than me, but they go, if you know this one, you're old as fuck. And I was like,
Oh, dude, what was it?
I don't know this one. Turns out I was too old. There was a difference. There were a few that I was a little too old for, but also someone was celebrating their.
But wait, who was it?
I don't fucking know. I don't even fucking know the
She
songs.
said.
So, anyways, point was, there was someone celebrating their 50th birthday across the bar, and I was like, see, that's where we belong over there. They all knew every song for the most part. I mean, I think there were a few songs that they didn't know, probably the same ones I didn't. I was like, 4150, same number.
Houston and I ended up at a bar last night in Laguna Beach, and there was like a cover band there, but they were covering like
Fun.
everything.
I love that.
There was like, I know they did like a Killer song. They did like, I want to say a Weezer song.
Ooh.
They did. Yeah, like a range of songs.
I don't think I've been to a cover band show.
It's time to. That's what we do at this age.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because going to see the bands that we love is so expensive, and we have like a family we gotta fucking afford.
No,
Yeah.
like so.
It was just-
Been traveled this last year, with.
Who?
Seosin. They played for they opened for AFI during one of their tours. That was like 2006. Trying to think, but they literally were traveling with like a whole bunch of other like that same age range, like 20 years ago, like all of those same bands.
Hey, Jessica's never been to a concert ever.
Listen, you were in the army for way too long. I think that was the branch.
No, I
You
think
need
was-
to get out there.
What's the army? Was the army?
What did I say? Did I say army?
That's what I think you said.
I thought it was army.
I thought it was not.
Listen, so really fast, Odin went and grabbed everything out of my desk and like threw it on the floor. And so I had 2 sets of new, never been used tarot card sets, plus all of our book
Oh, it was army.
questions.
You're right. I was.
And so we're just gonna like Russian roulette, like a name out of a hat bag, some question cards for tonight.
Cool. Like a magician.
Question cards.
Jessica, you've never been to a concert, like ever?
How about like
Like anything local, like local music, even like
Yeah, or like fairs with a band, like fairs with a singer.
Or like on a deployment.
Have you ever
I know
seen?
that.
Have you ever seen live musicians? I don't mean like I guess just growing
Jessica,
up.
do you listen to
the
music?
way-
Do you listen to music?
I don't want to sound mean, but like that's just I can't imagine life like that.
Jessica likes country, I think, from what I remember.
But like we live
Country?
where we live, like
So
he
you
was
like
just
the new
around us
Post Malone?
constantly.
Post Malone. Wow.
Yeah, he literally is doing like country music. I don't know if it's like a whole
Hi,
country
Melanie,
album. It's not like
welcome.
Beyonce or anything, but
Oh, okay, so never anything that you've liked, but okay.
what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
What would
You
be
need
your
to just
ideal?
make a plan and go.
What would be your ideal band / person to see out of curiosity? Oh no, Desiree.
Out of the way, desk. Move.
I know. What I mean, we're so off topic, but I'm just really curious. Like,
No, we're still on topic. That's off topic. That's the topic.
oh yes, okay.
Lacking the funds. Listen, that's how you manifest. Is you pretend you already have it, and you just go about your life and make your plans like you have it, and then it just comes to be. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go into it, but that's the gist.
Oh shit, Aftershock in Sacramento? That would be fun. That would be fun.
First, last
Granddaughter, I love that. I remember when we went to remember being younger and like getting to go to like what were some of those like radio station concerts, you know, those were fucking fun. And they were not super expensive back then, but that's the kind of shit that you would do like at 12. That was fun.
Oh, it's all like metal. Aftershock is all metal.
Yeah. Jeff Dunham. Oh my god, he's fucking hilarious, by the way.
Is that the
puppet guy? Yeah.
Puppet guy. Okay, yeah. He was playing, or not, or he was performing at Yamava, I think.
Oh, right down the way from me.
Yeah, like I think last year I remember seeing a billboard for him.
That's fun.
Like,
listen, Breaking Benjamin is playing it Aftershock. So is Evanescence, Dropkick Murphys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound like a jerk.
Oh, I love Dropkick. Like I said, that's where I got my internal bleeding.
Oh, that's right. You have, yeah. No, wait, is that you?
Five Finger.
Yeah, that was at a Dropkick show.
Over at in Hermosa, Huntington, Hermosa.
No, it wasn't.
Alien Ant Farm.
Yeah, Alien Ant Farm, dude. Anissa,
still around? Do they?
Oh my god.
They don't play anything new, do they?
I don't know. Let's look.
Let's look.
We're staying off topic.
This is why it's on topic. Alien Ant Farm is on a Midwest tour. They're playing in North Carolina in May.
Ow.
I don't know that they've put anything else out.
Oh, no, not really.
Oh my god, they've been a band since 95.
95, really?
Oh my god. Wow.
It's Fluffy. Who is Fluffy?
He's that comedian. He's like a Hispanic.
And he's just Fluffy. His name is just Fluffy?
Because he's chubby.
Oh, kind of like Javier. Kind of like Javier in our fucking book this month. He's Fluffy.
Listen, you guys, she's a hater.
I'll explain why, but once we get there. And I'm not a hater. Not everybody has to be obsessed with some fucking rando placed Latin lover in a fucking book.
You're just mad you don't have one.
Oh, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not.
Sounds like he really rocked her world for that 2 days.
I don't need any other lover besides the one that I got. Perfectly top notch, actually. Top notch. But no. Some stories don't need a fucking character like this. This was one of them. Out of place, wrong time, fluffy fluff. Like I said, I'll carry on later. I'll get into actual like specifics, but wow, waste of time. Wow. Would love to see Five Finger Death Punch. There you go. That's not country. Worked with Ronnie Montrose and Joan Jett parties. Fuck yeah, Joan Jett. That would be rad. I don't need to love her at all. All right, you guys. We finished When We Believed in Mermaids by Barbara O'Neill. That was our virtual trip to New Zealand for the month of April. Get our passport stamp to New Zealand. Very far. It's a long flight. Not everybody wants to fly that long. That's a roughie. Anyway. So how did everybody feel about the book? We finished it last week. We ended literally right before we found out what had happened to Josie as a child that really put her on the downward spiral path that she was on leading up to her disappearance or her death.
Yeah.
So we really ended at like the perfect spot because we like had all these questions. We were kind of wondering like what happened. Some of us really felt it, you know, like you can kind of just know things, especially given the kids' history with like their family and just the way that they
yeah, well, I had to reread those past like chapter, I think 14, 15, 16.
right.
Because I didn't, and you guys were all saying, like, making those speculations. I was like, how'd you get that? And I reread it. I was like, oh, okay, it makes a little sense now. But
Yeah. Anyway, how did everybody feel about this one?
I ended up liking it in the end.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that the ending was fantastic. I thought that the story was interesting. Gotta love a little bit of a mystery and, you know, fake death. There are a couple of things that felt very, very out of place.
what's that?
So I'll say, as far as like the sister stories are concerned, fucking fabulous. Great story. The way that she wrote like their history and then kind of went back and forth in time explaining like kind of their thought process now versus what they were going through then, and kind of like went back and forth in those chapters to do that, where we get like a little bit of info while they were a kid and then what they're feeling about it or what they thought they saw or whatever as adults. I thought it was very well done. I thought that she wrote that relationship well, and I think that like the story, the plot, all of it, very well done. But a lot of things were like misplaced, pointless, like for absolutely no reason at all. Mari is obsessed with this random death that happened of some Hollywood fucking starlet like fucking 80 years ago. And we just have to keep hearing about, like, for no reason at all, these journals and the history and why she did or didn't fucking decorate this room the way that she did.
I really thought that was going to be more of a tie-in, and maybe
I thought so,
because there was two sisters, right? It was like the death of the actress, and she had a sister. The sister lived there, and I was ready for like some kind of like
Big Bang,
like, or not even Big Bang, but some like mirrored type.
Right. Like a purpose to like that story being told alongside this one. Like, why are we delving so much into this? I found that there was no point in the end. And when it all came to a head, oh, George did it. That was it. And then it ended. Okay. So there was nothing more to it. This wasn't supposed to like mirror anything. Exactly what I felt.
The room, and she's like, this must be, and I remember thinking like,
and then just dropped off, right?
Just like,
I mean, the most interesting part was the fact that like they were all into Art Deco. That was it. Yeah. But then she was talking about like, oh, you know, we flip places, and she made some interesting choices here, and you know, I'm gonna have to do this to this house, and I'm like, so the fuck what? So what? If this does not have a purpose, I'm gonna be really mad. I was mad. It didn't have a purpose. None of it did. What do you think, Des?
I mean, I guess I didn't read too much into it. It didn't matter to me. I did definitely, it's like filler for the story, right? And it just it was Mari's purpose in what she was doing in that time frame, right? I don't think it
in general.
I don't think it deterred me from the story at all. It was just what it was.
You know, now that sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, now that I think of it, maybe that is the purpose, though. That is her passion. That's what she can focus on now. She can focus on mundane, you know,
That
things
makes
like
sense.
that in her life. She's at that point where everything's great, and that's what she can do and focus on.
Like her life is so fucking perfect right now that what she can do is go back and look at like other people's lives that went tragically wrong, and she can just feel more appreciative. Is that what you mean?
Not necessarily don't feel appreciative, but just that she is in
Or
a
that she has the
relaxed state of
opportunity now.
she has the opportunity. She's in a relaxed state of life where
Okay.
that's what she can be doing, as opposed to, you know, her, Kit, where she's like busy and constantly like just exhausted and has no time to do anything. Just shows like how
Right.
she just has that lifestyle where she can just, hey,
Right.
let's check out and
Yeah, I
research
agree
the
with
house.
Melanie. I don't like filler that has no purpose. Like if you're gonna add a filler, then I do want it to like tie into something. You know what I mean? Like I want it to like, oh, that makes sense now. Oh, that brings me back to this one point that was made previously, and the nope
Yeah.
did not happen.
Well, yeah, like I said, I would, because they made it that it was she had a sister and the sister lived there. I was really, and there was notes. I was
Right.
like, ooh, what's it gonna be?
I mean, we
So-
got it, but as Melanie said, it just like, or was that Anissa who said it? Oh yeah, Melanie said it, and then just dropped off as soon as we finally got like the, oh, guess what?
Yeah.
And that's how it was like given to you too. It was given to you in a very like, oh, by the way, we forgot that we were telling this side story.
Get me one.
Here's a little bit of an ending.
Yeah,
for it.
maybe the author was gonna tie it in more. She's like, I don't know how to really do that anymore. Or
Two books I read this month had filler that was not needed. Ugh. Yeah, I know. You read the other sisters one.
Oh.
What was it? Book number 7 that you read?
Oh, the one that we were reading before, the
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, Melanie has basically, or is almost done with the series, and is
Yeah.
next
She's reading
to read
Dad's
the
book.
Dad Story Atlas. So hopefully it gets better in that after that. But like apparently the last one was quite filled with absolutely nothing.
I don't
Which I
want to read this series, but I really want to know what happens. So maybe Melanie can jump on a second hour
She's just gonna ask you guys to like fill her in.
and just like give us the rundown.
Bullet point all the information she just needs in the questions and things like
Yeah,
that.
so she doesn't need like Cliff's notes. She needs like Mel's notes. Like just give her like just the nitty gritty, like just what's important. Halfway done with Atlas. There you go.
Like, tell me about why the dad do this.
Hopefully that's
So the
better.
other thing that you were saying that you felt like was not needed is her lover, but I actually think that that really does actually tie into the story because of the two different ways that the sisters ended up going with their lives, right? We have their parents were just fucking absent even when they were literally there. And it caused issues for the both of them, which in the end is why the first sister, Mari, ended up the way she did in the life she was in, is because of the neglect from her own parents that was already volatile and loud and probably scary for them at their small ages. And then you have the sister where they tried to hide things from the sister, right? With what Mari went through and Dylan, and she didn't trust men and literally kept them at a distance and would take a lover when she felt like it, right? And so she'd never felt that connection that she'd felt like with Javier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why for 1 second I was about to say Javier and I was like, that's not his name.
Felicity. Javier.
For those that know. And so I do think that he did play a part because she did feel that connection, but she was still willing to run from it because it was scary for her, right? Because of the way that her parents were, because of their relationship. And so she was like, fuck that shit. But then she has the older sister who literally did the opposite, who built this picture perfect picket fence family. And, she didn't she killed her, who she was before, so as to not bring it into this new life. But obviously it still played a part because she knew that she wasn't going to be like this. She knew she wasn't going to be like her parents. She knew that she was going to give the life that they should have had as little kids to her children, that safety and all of that. So I do think that Javier played a part, even though you fucking don't like him.
No, I
And
still
so, I
don't
mean,
his
I
purpose.
just-
I do think that he played a part that.
So I
Well-
can see, I do agree in that I think that what the author was trying to do was that. I think that she was trying to like mirror a healthy relationship with like an unhealthy one. And what she saw was something that she wanted to get away from her entire life. So she just didn't build those kinds of relationships. And I understood that. However, he felt completely out of place in the story. I'm not saying that like he didn't have a purpose, but in the grand scheme of the entire story, he felt like filler and was almost distracting because he did distract her. And maybe she needed the distraction, which I do get. I still feel like it was pointless because it didn't add anything to her character. There was no need for him to. Here's what I really just feel like it was meant to like create that spicy romantic storyline that is such a big hit right now. And I feel like she had no idea where to take the story any further. And so to fill in, she added a romantic storyline, which didn't feel like it was necessary given the childhood that they had, the adults that they are now, and then the storyline that we're trying to, like the timeline that we're trying to connect. We're trying to connect this entire center that we don't know anything about. And what we're doing is while trying to connect it, we're adding in this like very unnecessary, older, fluffy, perfect character. For what purpose? I didn't understand that. Like, first of all, he's not flawless and but he's without flaw. Like, it was very, very, very weird to me, not to mention her obsession with their age gap. So adding just another thing for absolutely no reason. And then her obsession with him having like the anti-fit bod, like the dad bod. I was like, why are we still hearing about how soft his tummy is? This is so fucking pointless. I get it. Like, not everyone is built fit, but I didn't understand why we had to keep coming back to like, oh, he's so soft.
I don't even remember that part.
The amount of times that it came into this fucking story that I was like, fucking shut
I remember
the fuck
coming
up.
out. I can remember twice at least. About.
I don't even remember it at all. That's what's funny. I don't remember that any at all at all. But so I do think so. Here's the thing: is that it did give her character a little bit. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, so like the way that she built her life to keep men out, right? Because men aren't safe, because
she's
her
isolated,
mom
even
and
from her
dad
mom.
weren't safe, right? And then they created an unsafe environment for their kids, right? So she did the exact opposite, which was no men. You're good for fucking and get out. And then we're done, right? And so she didn't open her heart to anybody.
Well, even
And
her
so
mom,
she
too.
created but she created such tight structure that she was unwilling to deviate from until her mom's like, no, you have to go. You have to go to New Zealand. You have to see if you can find your sister. And then comes upon this guy that's not in her fucking line of sight, like expecting any of it. It's not, again, she doesn't allow that for herself, right? Because she can't control it. It's unexpected. It's what is the word?
It's not what she's there for.
Well, yeah, it's not what she's there for, right? And so she's like, I have my goals. These are my goals. This is what I'm doing. I wake up. I have oatmeal for breakfast every day. I go to the hospital. I do my fucking surfing. I go home. I play with my kitty and I go to bed. And so I think that was the point, is to have her open her eyes to something else. Because it's not that she's necessarily happy in what she's doing, right? Or in her life. What's funny?
You said she plays with her kitty and then calls it a day, and she's like,
oh, I
I'm
couldn't
like,
remember his
"Beach,
name.
her
I
little
couldn't remember his name. I couldn't
Hobo.
remember his name. But so
Hobo.
basically, right? So he was there to get her to open her eyes to something else instead of this tight fucking structure that she's built for herself, to realize that there is more outside of it. And then she was like, I don't really want, what am I doing here at the end of the story? Why did I leave? And so she's even confused with her own self, but we all know why, because that was scary, because she saw what her parents were. She wasn't going to be that. She wasn't going to do that at all. And she's built her life around that. Sorry, there's a bug. So I do think that he had a place there, but I can understand what you're saying is like, you felt like it was just distracting from the goal of her finding her sister, which was, to me, which was the point, right? Is to
no, because he literally was trying to, I mean, he was a distraction from that goal. And while I do understand that she lives her life extremely structured and this was her being forced to deviate from it, like definitely finding something along the way that like made her take a different step. I do understand that. The way that the author did it, I didn't like. I didn't appreciate it at all. I felt like it took away from the actual heart of the story. And I think that she was just kind of abusing the fact that, you know, a lot of stories right now are kind of tapping into that spice level that they think everyone wants. And it seemed to me like our author was just adding like this extra spice level to her story to fill it because she had nothing else to say. And while maybe she did, maybe she didn't, doesn't really matter. The point is I do feel like it distracted from the heart of the story. I don't feel like it mirrored the relationships from before. And I don't think that it also added anything for her other than we needed a guy to help her see her worth. We needed a guy to help her see that she was on like a bad path. Or that being so goal-oriented was a bad thing. That's where I took from it. And that's the way that the author wrote it. So
I disagree.
So I took it that she isolated herself and there was something good that she was avoiding, obviously, as you know, and that also in a small way gave Mari a way to help her back, you know, like connect them. She's, you know, seeing things in her when then she got mad, like, you don't get to, you know, put your advice about my life or however it went. I just like it showed, it was able to show like the tables flipping, you know, of Mari.
The thing is about that though, is that I think that Simon, Mari's husband, was a more realistic character.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's what I was thinking.
You're saying then Javier?
No, Simon, as I said, was a more realistic character than Javier.
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Like Javier was like too perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he's just this like random dude.
Think about vacation. Vacation is supposed to be perfect. Vacation is vacation.
You're going to but when you're going to go beyond a vacation into a relationship, you actually have to get to know the person and what there are flaws. No one is that perfect.
Absolutely.
But why is it that we were not given any of those for him, and we were, however, given plenty about Simon?
Because Simon is
all the way into
Mari.
the end.
They've been together for like 10, 15 years or whatever the number was. Javier is literally vacation. You're going to have fun. You're apparently just going to eat and fuck. That's what you're doing.
What you're saying is that you didn't think that that's all she wanted to do up to that point.
Say it again.
That's all she wanted to do up to that point. So if our author had just continued that storyline with her, like maybe that's what she wanted. Maybe she just wanted to fucking play and have fun and move on. Maybe she didn't want to have a relationship. And here's the thing. Why is it that has to be like the end goal for everyone in their life? Some people don't need to have that kind of
because this is the story she wrote. This is the
but that's just, that was the story that she wrote. But the way she wrote it made it seem like Kit couldn't be happy if she didn't have this man in her life. What she needed was her sister back, and she got that opportunity and had to go and actually convince her sister, like, "Hey, this is you gotta be back in my life. I need you. You need me. This is what's important. And that's the
Yeah,
part
but
that I
like
thought
she
that was
can't
necessary,
be.
but I don't think he was.
I
Oh my God,
disagree.
his fucking mushy stomach. Like, can we?
Melanie, again, that never even clocked it to me. Like I never even read that.
The way she said it too. I don't even know how you fucking missed
A
all
realistic man, I guess.
it's not just a realistic man. It's that she was like almost obsessive with it. Like the amount of times she mentioned their age gap and mentioned his body type. And I was like, why are we still hearing about? We've already heard it.
I wonder if she's used to like surfers with.
What did you say? What is the exact line? Because now I need to Google and I need to search it. I need to know how many times it was said because I never even heard it once.
I mean, I guess we all pay attention to like the different things in the different stories. That's that. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. So I've been describing the book as an emotional beach read, which means the happy ending was expected. Yeah, but the thing is,
very happy. It was like,
yeah,
one of those movies where you're like, wow, like,
oh, they all show up at the end.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, this. I was like, oh, this is cute. But I was like, wow, we went there. We went to that like perfect ending, which isn't bad. I feel like there's a lot of endings that everybody goes the opposite way. Like it's fine to have a perfect ending here and there.
Yeah, you didn't read at all. You're lucky you're moving and have a good excuse. But we missed you anyway.
I did enjoy the book, surprisingly, and I'm trying to figure out what I liked about it, like why I liked it. Or maybe I
liked it, but I don't know why. When her father died, she never got a chance to live or really grow any relationships. And sometimes we need someone to show us that we have value. So I do fully agree with that. I just feel like if the purpose was like the connection between the sisters, that should have shown her. That should have been enough. That's all I'm saying. Is like there are plenty of stories where I fully enjoy the absolute unnecessariness of a romantic relationship and all the spice. But when you know that that's what you're going into, different than when you expect it to kind of take a specific, I guess it's the cadence. And it just felt like a complete deviation from like the point of the heart of the story. I just felt like he was unnecessary. And that's okay. I don't have to like him, but I mean, you're going to keep trying to convince me and that's fine. You will not convince me, I can tell you.
Y'all are dramatic though. So the word stomach pops up 22 times in the story. But now tell me, how many times was it specifically about Javier?
Well,
okay, so maybe you can look up other words that actually lead to
soft.
Yeah, the amount of times that it actually leads to a conversation or her thought about him. I felt like it was so fucking weird. Like, okay.
Twice. It's literally mentioned twice in reference to Javier out of 22 for stomach. That's all I was trying to say. But I'm looking up soft.
Was that the word she used?
I don't know. I like a spicy. Everybody knows it, and the spicier the better.
Would you rather there be no Javier or just less information about Javier?
I think that he shouldn't have distracted from the actual plot. Okay. That's it. I'm not saying that she couldn't have had a fling that maybe led to something. I just think that like the amount of time spent felt like the author had nothing else to write. And so she fell back on a romance to take up space.
Well, was it to show us like all this perfect stuff that she was having and she still avoided it? Nope. You know what I mean? Like still like.
But she didn't. I mean, we all expected her to be like, oh, no, in the end. And then they all
she rallied. She like went up in her on the plane and was just like, I'm done or whatever.
Yeah. And she went back to her regular life. And yeah, maybe she regretted that. And that was fine. And that would have been fine if had he been in there, that was fine. But then he started like inserting himself. And what I did like is when she fucking stopped him. She was like, hey, hold on. I understand you're trying to help me out here, but A, I didn't ask for it. And 2, I don't fucking know you. So you don't need to get into my business. let's celebrate that one. But I do like that she did stand up for that, like for herself in that regard, because she was like, look, you have nothing to do with this. Like I just slept with you. That's it. There's nothing
Yeah,
else.
but
Like, there's no need for
he
you
was
to
falling in love with her. He wanted to help her because he loved her. Oh, he loved her.
right the fuck away. This guy just sleeps with people all the fucking time. He's a musician and he says it. And she's like,
But she's different.
just another one on his vacation. And then all of a sudden she's different. And now he has to
Yeah.
like help her with this mystery and get all fucking nosy and start asking around. I was glad the kid was fucking pissed at him for that. Which maybe it would have been better if it was just a vacation fling and he helped her in the way she needed it, but then he goes home and she goes home and their relationship ends. See, that's kind of how I felt. It would have been fine if he was just like this fling that made her feel like, you know what, maybe I can give it another chance. But why is it that like your rando fling while you're trying to do this other thing has to automatically lead to like the rest of your life? And then,
Hey,
of course,
we don't know that it does. We don't know. We don't. He went to California, but that doesn't mean that they got married and had little babies.
This is a Hallmark movie, okay?
yeah, he absolutely, it
Well,
absolutely.
it's a step above Hallmark
this is
because it wasn't
not-
fade to black.
This is not a HBO.
Oh no, it did not fade to black.
series.
These scenes were fucking boring. Oh my god.
It's not an HBO series. This is Hallmark, okay?
So this wasn't the kind of fucking that Tosh was into, guys.
No, that's not it. It's just that
She said that that's not the issue.
if I am purposely reading a story that I know is just going to have that, then it's expected and it's different. You don't look at the plot, you don't look at the characters, you don't look for like extreme development along the way as much. I mean, for some, like if you know that it has a really good fucking plot and a lot of fucking too, then that's great. But this is weird. It was weird. It felt again out of place. Like she was just trying to tap into all y'all who fucking love that shit.
This book was written in 2019, at least, if not earlier. So it wasn't necessarily tapping into what you're saying where we have this going on today.
You're right. This was
What
back
was it?
like Fabio cover bullshit from when we were younger. Yeah.
When was this
No,
written?
not that long ago, but yeah.
When was it
I mean,
written?
it's the same thing though.
2019.
Oh.
I mean, just because you took a little longer to dive into the spice book, it doesn't mean that it wasn't already
Say
there
it again.
and thriving. I mean, you took longer to find these kinds of stories, but it doesn't mean that everyone else did. I mean, yeah, now it's like blown up way out of proportion, but again, why does it need to be in every fucking book? I don't get it. If it's going to add something to it, then that's fine, but I don't think it added anything.
Okay.
Nor do I.
Every book. I follow this one person that shows all the books that don't have unnecessary romance scenes.
Unnecessary stuff. Oh, scenes. See, this was straight up unnecessary character. Like he didn't develop though. There's that too. I mean, he was a short point, so I understand that he couldn't like have major development at all.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't a main character. He was definitely a side character.
No, but the author was trying to write him in like he was. And I was like, I get it. Like, you know, Dylan was like her hero growing up and she had this like idea of him and he ended up not being so great. Hey,
Oh
by
my
the way,
God.
speaking of Dylan,
What do we think about the fact that he killed himself because he knocked his sister?
motherfucker, I called that shit last week.
Yeah.
Called it last week. I said on accident. I said when he killed himself. And everybody was like, hold on, he didn't do that. It was an accident. And I was like, oh, was it?
I thought they said he'd gone
100.
surfing.
Yeah. Well, no. She had a vision. Like she had like she was like. I was picturing her daydreaming of seeing him in the water, going surfing. Not necessarily of being like recalling history, but she said she was looking out. Oh, and there's Dylan. Because at the very end of the book, there was Dylan again, right? Like wasn't he at the end of the book?
Just
Like,
where they're
waving to
talking
her?
about him. Oh,
No,
yes.
like-
When
It was
she
like
went down to the cove before she went back to her house.
Yeah, he was there.
Cinder, their dog, was
With
also
him,
there with
yeah.
them.
That's how I took it when she saw him go into the water or whatever. It was just one of those like
You know what would have been fucking bomb? To get back at Billy in the story. Could have filled in all of that
Oh.
bullshit with that's what I'm
But
saying.
it's true though. But it's true. They're like, oh, we should do something about Billy, and it's true. Like she's like, but why? Like nothing will happen.
I also like that they were like, why the fuck did Dylan not say something when he found out? He was a great little character. He had so many things going on with him that were wrong. And he finally found that he was in like a fairly safe place. And then he felt like he fucked it up. And so he couldn't take it anymore. But again, this was not his first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
And I swore that that's what it was. Last week, I was like, or 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, was I wrong? Like, did I really just think that like she was leading to that's what had happened? No, the way I read it was definitely that that's what had happened. But again, we could have filled in a lot more with Dylan's storyline. We could have gotten could have figured out maybe a little background of his that would have helped with his character and maybe why he chose not to tell. But also maybe we were just supposed to think that he was also like a little hero villain.
They gave us a couple scenarios of the possible reasons why he did.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, we could have developed, like, we could have had a little bit more chapters, like, dedicated to that. We could have had a few chapters dedicated to fucking Billy up.
Yeah.
You know? Still can't. I mean, that could have been.
If they found out, if the parents found out, for as fucked up as these parents were, do we honestly think that they would have done anything about it, or do we think they would have brushed it under the rug?
That's what I was saying. Like they would.
Back then, the parents wouldn't have, but if Dylan came and said it, and he said it to the right people, they could have.
Would they have honestly believed him?
Or Dylan, I would see Dylan.
But it wasn't about just believing him. It was also about believing her. And at the end of the day, when people don't say something, what you're doing is you are unfortunately knowing that someone else is going to potentially be hurt along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And when he made that choice not to say anything, he was then allowing Billy to go continue the same behavior on and on and on. And unfortunately, Maury did too. And I'm not saying that there isn't a reason that people don't say things. I do understand that.
That's probably a combination of things of why he, like, I don't feel like he killed himself just because he knocked her
But the thing is I don't think
that's of it all.
I don't think that's the only reason that he ended up killing himself. I don't think that at all. But what I'm saying is like he was much older than they were. He was already a teenager when all of this started going on. He was already a teenager when he found out what had happened to Josie when she was younger. And he made a conscious choice not to say anything. So it wouldn't have mattered if anybody believed him.
Yeah. Well, because he was also
he wasn't like he wasn't like a kid like they were.
But he was also a degenerate and like a screwed up kid who's on drugs. So like
well, I don't know if that's necessarily it. I mean, maybe it's just that he didn't want to say anything because he'd already been abused for years and years and years. And
I'd say like just a combination of it all.
Like his own history kind of coming into play there. I do understand that. But
and like some people feel also by not saying something you are saving that because he's older, but he still has a immature
worldview at that point. I'm aware. Yeah. No, I totally get that, but I don't know.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
I mean, if you're a kid, I can understand why Josie didn't say anything at her age. She's 9. She didn't tell Kit. Kit was what, like 5 or so at the time. I understand that. You're not going to tell a 5-year-old about it. Like, and you can't really expect that a 9 or 5-year-olds are really going to know what to say or who to tell or anything.
And that's a common thing too, is like to try to keep.
But a teenager fucking knows. A teenager is different. A teenager knows that, if something bad happens.
But by that point, it had been like what, 6 years?
That too.
By the time he actually found out, but when she told him, he said he had thought so. He had thought it back then. And he never pushed her to say anything.
Like when, like that
That's
summer,
exactly
that
what he had thought happens. The only one who
that's
didn't think that was Kit. Kit was like, "Fuck, I had no idea." But now I look back at it, and she was crying that
like
day.
how one day she
Now
just
I know why.
flipped. Yeah, she just flipped. You
But
know,
he knew. He said he knew, and he was just waiting for her to say something. But it wasn't until way later. I get that.
I mean, you're expecting a child to, I mean, you think that he's not a child because he's 18, but we know that some 18-year-olds are not quite their mental age. So, I
especially
No, I
mean,
give.
expect him to. That wasn't an expectation, and I'm not
well,
expecting
you just,
who came from an abusive situation to do the right thing in a bad situation either. I'm not expecting it.
These are
What I'm
just things
saying
that
is that I appreciated that even Kit and Josie in the end were like, hey, hold on. It really isn't okay that he didn't do that. And I'm not saying that he didn't have his reasons. And I'm not saying that, I would totally hold it against him. It's just that, like,
well, and they saw
he
the
wasn't
two.
a little kid. There's difference. Like, he was 15 when it happened to her. And this is several years later or so when they finally had the conversation. He thought that it had happened then.
But and then they saw the two sides of him, though. They saw the Dylan that was like,
I
like
mean,
the two sides to like kind of almost everybody, you know.
I guess I just see it differently. I'm not seeing, yeah, Dylan fucked up with what happened, but he was still a child when those things
I don't
happened to her, and then he's in somebody else's home that
I
took him
think that
in.
they're agreeing on the
Yeah, I
same
don't
That's
think
all.
we're
thing.
disagreeing at all. I think that I think that you
She's just
want
Maybe I'm
expressing.
hearing it differently
She's just
then.
expressing thoughts on it. That's all. But
based on the
agreeing.
information, which even we got both of the sisters saying at the end that they felt like he still should have said something. He should have at least tried. And I do agree with that. He should have at least tried. But do I blame him for not doing it? No. So I think you just are in a mood to see me as being disagreeable, and I'm not. I'm just saying like what the character said
No.
and saying that I agree with that. But I also agree with the fact that like the kid was fucking abused. And so why would he ever think to like go and tell someone else's story when he couldn't even really tell his own? I get that. But we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
What is the significance of the title?
Is that one of your questions?
Yeah.
Because they were little and they believed in mermaids.
I think it's just a nod to back before the bad things really happened that changed their entire future.
They're going back. Oh, that's what the title is. They're going back to when they believed in mermaids. They're like coming back together, you know, because they're together again. To where they went back to, they ended at the cove where they believed the mermaids.
Right. That's what I was saying. Before all the bad things happened, they were. Mm-hmm.
Besides the title that it is, what would be a good title that you would name this book? Besides when
we stopped believing in mermaids.
Oh my god.
That would be
she said it's the opposite. She said all dark.
Yeah, I agree. That's perfectly acceptable. Yeah, going back to a simpler time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the opposite title would definitely.
Fuck Javier. In the bad way. I mean, the good. Not in that way. That was a title for Tosh. Okay, but it could come
no, it would have been. There is no Javier in the story.
No, the title would have been Javier. Who?
It could have been soft belly distraction. Could have been Mermaid Sisters. Yeah, could have been that.
I like
Javier is a fucking siren. I don't know.
I don't
I
know
just
why I
wanted to
think
go
this
with
is so
it.
funny.
It doesn't bother me that much. I just think
No,
that
I know. I'm just
he's
playing
pointless.
on it.
Okay, since you hate Javier so much, but in the movie, who would play him?
Ew, that is part of the problem. The way he was described and her extreme obsession with his soft body, I couldn't picture anyone. I wanted to picture so many people. I was like, oh my God, there's so many like beautiful Latin men in Hollywood. This is going to be great. As soon as he can. Fuck no. I could not imagine anyone having to play that pointless ass, boring fucking character with his stubble and his gut going down on her for no fucking reason at all. Ugh. Ugh, no. There is no man that I want to see that I want to have ruined for me. I was like, at this
Listen,
point,
I got it though. I got it for you.
Everyone fucking knows it. He's gonna be
Pedro Pascal. Exactly.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that, and I knew you were gonna say that because he's old and soft, but
he's a good-looking old man.
He's like 26.
He's
or
only
something,
50.
30. What is she? She's like 30 here.
No, I thought we said she was 40. Because her sister was over 40.
Like not.
No, maybe we said she was 39. Her sister's 43. There was like 4 years apart or some shit.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember.
Ooh, Full of Eden. I like that. I like that. That's a good title. Javier Bardem? Ew, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You guys, no. Did anybody else have any other characters that they would cast? Because we haven't done that this year, but
no, we haven't.
I don't know.
Let's see. I'm looking.
Ew. No, you know who I don't have a problem with fucking being Javier. This is exactly it. Oscar Isaac. He could just go ahead. He could go right at the fucking head and be him.
What was that?
Mark Ruffalo. He could be him. Anyone just like.
I feel like Mark Ruffalo can be everybody.
Yeah, but Oscar Isaac. Everybody's got such an obsession with him, and I absolutely do not.
Listen, as he's gotten older, he's gotten very salt and peppery. Okay.
Yeah. He can be him because then he's 46, so that's fine.
Yeah, but Pedro Pascal would have the accent, and he feels like he could definitely be a traveling artist. Okay.
How about this guy?
But Javier Bardem, come on, he could play him too because I just
the Ant-Man guy.
That's perfect.
Oh my gosh, Dominic.
The Ant-Man guy.
Perfect. This is how this is probably how I picture him.
That's what I pictured. That guy.
It's kind of like, ugh, please don't talk.
Let me see. Who did you say I clicked off?
What's his name again?
Javier Bardem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I pictured. Somebody like that.
Yeah, that's probably the closest. You're right. Teen. That probably works. I can't fucking stand him, so that would be perfect. That would be perfect. Rosamund Pike for Josie. That Bob, oh my God, especially when she was in oh God, what was it? Gone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Gone
Wait,
Girl.
so then does Kit have long brown hair? Do we know?
Kit?
Mm-hmm.
She has like wild hair, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Rosamund Pike. That would be perfect.
Or Mari?
Yeah.
Josie Mari, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Josie.
Did the author create believable characters?
Yeah, up until a certain point.
Once Javier got there, then it was gone.
Unrealistic character. Come on, totally unrealistic. He like sings all beautiful and he's just there on vacation, and all of a sudden he's like gonna move across the globe for her, and she's the most beautiful thing he's ever fucking seen. Okay. Okay.
Cunty little Bob. What?
Out of the summer, the cunty little Bob. That's probably what that is. That's Rosamund Pike's little cunty Bob. I swear. Anyway, who could play Kit? They could like also surf because she gotta be surfer.
Keira Knightley.
No, not Keira Knightley. She's too tiny.
Yeah, probably.
Remember she has like a
Yeah, because
sturdy
Kit was
body.
talking about how she's like not a tiny person.
She has like the sturdy body. Like
Yeah.
Why are
I
you
guess she could like sturdy herself up a little, right?
I don't think that
Not that much.
No.
Jessica Chastain. She's sturdy.
Yeah, but she's old.
I don't know. But how old is this character again supposed to be?
I think she's 39 or 40.
Okay.
Jessica Chastain is 48.
See? Nah, that's fine. That's probably fine.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call her a sturdy body.
Jessica Chastain?
Yeah.
She's more sturdy built than Keira Knightley. She's really teeny.
I know. Once she said that, that's why I was looking again. But I don't feel like she has a sturdy body.
Oh, Rebecca Ferguson. She's oh my god, she was in Dune and Silo. What the fuck else? Oh, Dr. Sleep. Forgot about that.
Oh. She was the mom in Dune.
Yeah, I just knew she was in it. I didn't know what she played because I haven't seen it.
No, I looked it up because I didn't know the name.
The main
she's
girl
been
from
in like all the Mission Impossibles, or at least a few of them. You would call her sturdy, though? Do you mean muscular, or do you mean like
thick, but not
someone
chunky.
who looks like they could be a fucking surfer, where they're not like just skin and bones. Like they need to have some muscle, a little meat on them.
But soft
And also
muscle.
not be like 5'2", because I don't think that she was. I think didn't she say that she was quite big? I can't remember.
Yeah, she was
she's taller now because she's like, I'm the bigger
Mari.
Like
yeah, that's where the big little sister thing.
Oh, right. Big little sister thing. Yes. Now I remember. Cobra Kai. Who the fuck is that?
Who?
Who the fuck is in the cast?
Florence Pugh. Maybe. She's been popping up in so much stuff recently. She's a little bit thicker.
She is, yeah. She looks like she probably hikes. She can go up now. Hair color. Yeah, hair color be changed. Absolutely. I don't know.
I'm never good at this.
I don't know. But Any other questions?
Let me-
Oh, how about the chick from
I think Flo P.
Secession? Was that the show? Her?
I haven't seen that either.
Sarah Snook
Yeah,
or
Sarah Snook. Do we already say that? Did somebody say that already?
Succession?
I don't even know who this is. I've never.
That was a good show. It was a good show.
I can't
She's
see her as
37, so it's possible.
really here
but-
though.
I guess.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so overall, we should probably give our ratings for When We Believed in Mermaids.
Wait, did we do a rating last? Have we
We
been
did.
doing ratings?
We did. You were just not here because you were somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
But we did, yeah. What are you guys going to rate it at?
Huh. Wait, let me put it up. Okay.
We'll give it like a 3.5.
I think I was gonna do that.
I was gonna give it a 4. I ended up really liking the book.
Maybe that would, yeah.
What's that? Oh shit, 4 mermaids.
I did like it. I would give it a solid 4. Which I don't know why I feel weird doing that. Because maybe it's not my typical book. I'm like, I still don't know why I like it. What I liked about it.
That's interesting.
You liked the box. You liked how colorful the box was.
I did like the box. I did.
I liked the cooking elements. They were talking about things that they learned from their, when you're trying to like take the good things from a bad parent, like
yeah,
the cooking, and I thought that was good. And they didn't really talk about taking anything from their mom other than her bad habits. So it was good that she got to kind of redeem herself in the end, which is also why I ended up giving the extra half star. But I do think that the amount of things that like took away from the major storyline is what dragged it down quite a bit for me. Not that it didn't have a great ending, that they didn't like, it was wrapped up well. I just feel like so much was unnecessary that it definitely distracted from what I felt like could be like a 4.5, 5-star book. Just given like the plot, I thought it was a really cool idea. Like you see this person that was supposed to have died. This is your family member, and you go on this like crazy journey to find them. That was a pretty cool storyline, and how it all came to be, all of the things that were before and everything after, and then finally filling in that space. I thought that was a great idea, but just
That's what I liked about it. Yeah.
I just don't think that it was executed as well as it could have been, and a lot of stuff was added that just could have been replaced by more important things. So 3.5 for me, which is probably like the lowest book that I've read this year, and that's a really good thing. Look, Des gives a 3.5, and she's like, or if Des gives the book a 3, she explains how that's still a good score. But if I gave it a 3.5, she's making the face like I fucking hate your score. Like
no, not that at all.
Like how that's a low score, and it's so
no.
And that's what it looked like you were
doing.
No.
Well,
No. Swear that's not it. No. No.
3 means
no,
good.
I think you hate Javier, and that's why it took your score down.
Oh no, that is not the only thing that dropped it. That is
no, I think it's the main thing though.
No, it isn't the main thing. The main thing is that a lot of unnecessary fluff was put in the book, not specific to any one character or situation. It was a lot of unnecessary fluff. The fucking rando story about how someone was killed in this fucking house that she loves, and she just needs to go on this like stupid fucking fairy hunt for no reason about how and why and who. I don't fucking care. Especially when you end it that shitty. You know what I mean? So that wasn't the only thing.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, you know, and they touched it to a really good friend of hers for a good minute, but then she just disappeared.
Right? Yeah, I was like, hold on, where did this character go?
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that I was like, why the fuck was that put in there? She must be bringing it full circle at some point. No, not everything needed a full circle, apparently. She was just like, I'm just going to put this in here and you're going to have zero idea why, but you'll enjoy it because it's so boring.
Going about her normal day, you know, you maybe go about her normal day. You're like, does she not have any friends? You know, so it's like, hey, by the way, she has a friend. Look,
she has a friend, but then her friend disappears. There are no more friends, and it's just her and her ghost stories.
You know that this is a romance domestic fiction. That's what the genre is.
Is that an actual genre?
That's what it says on here when you Google
fiction.
it.
Yeah, it is. Domestic fiction, though, I mean, that's not like domestic doesn't necessarily mean like relationships. Domestic also has to do with like familial, you know, stories as well. So I don't know. I mean, I assumed maybe that it was going to be kind of a romance, but I thought it would be more of like a kind of like the romantic love, like the sweet love that people have with someone they grow up with, you know, like not in a sexually romantic way. Not that kind of romance. I thought it was more like the bond between siblings and that kind of thing. I think that's where I thought it was more going to be focused. So I was quite surprised that we just wasted so many chapters.
It was still focused on their relationship because that was the whole book, was her seeking her sister.
Yeah.
Because of the love.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying is when I assumed that it might be kind of like a romance, but I guess it'd be more of like that kind of, I don't know, in more like that realm. Because I was like, I don't see the point.
The author actually has discussion questions for book clubs on here.
Oh.
Which
on here, her website?
Her website, yeah. I was just Googling trying to see if like maybe there was like a second book to it to see if they would try and tie some other things up.
That's a good question. Would you read another book, or if they tried to follow it, absolutely fucking not.
I would read it.
There's nothing more that they could give us except for more soft underbelly.
Well, Javier, obviously, it would all be about Javier.
Ugh, dude, I think our author was just obsessed with like soft Latin men, and she was like, I gotta put one in.
Hold on. So there is questions in here that include Javier.
Okay, ask the question.
Hold on. Yeah. I
was
trying to read through that.
Else first before you do that?
What?
Can we talk about something else first?
What?
Before you ask your question? Before everyone's gone.
Yeah, I meant to do something.
We are unboxing our May book, Devil of Dublin by B.B. Easton tomorrow. This one is going to take us on our virtual tour to Ireland. So get ready for an actual spicy romance that's probably not going to have any plot and to just be all filler for a reason. I'm kidding. Anyways, we will be unboxing tomorrow night, ladies. So we will see you back then. Count me in. Yay. I had fun with this box. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow.
So one of the questions, it's like there's like 10 questions in all, but question 6 says, "What do you think about Kit finding love with Javier during this tumultuous time? Was he too much of a distraction for her, or was he key in her ability to find a path to healing?"
I think that the key was the sister, but definitely he was a distraction. So she must have asked those questions. She must have felt that way. She must have had enough readers say that that was how they felt about it for her to then create discussion questions.
Well, I don't know which one came first. I don't know if like this was on here. I just clicked it on the website. So I don't know like when she published that to her website.
Right. I mean, we wouldn't know when she would have created questions unless we could ask her, but glad she was not on today.
I mean, there's some pretty good questions on here, though.
Are you going to answer any of them, or are you just going to say them out loud and then force us to fucking look stupid?
Oh, I mean, I've been answering everything that we've been saying.
I know. I was like,
agree.
Desiree, what do you think? Because you always get away with just asking the questions and never having to answer them. I was like, nah.
Oh,
Especially
no, I mean, I was answering.
Blabber.
I feel like I was answering.
Yeah.
One of the questions says, Kit and Josie need the ocean to ground them. It is one of the most important touchstones in each of their lives, and it is what ultimately lets them find one another again. Do you have a similar connection to something in the natural world?
Oh, shit. That would have been a good question for an hour ago. But that's a good one. I like that question. I just mean so that I didn't waste so much time blabbering on about how boring and pointless he was. But fuck, I loved that grounding that they did. They always had to come back to the ocean. They always were like, this is where I go to think. This is where I go to clear my mind, even to do the opposite of thinking, for one. The other was like, that's where I go to like find my thoughts. The other one was like, that's where I go to get rid of my thoughts.
And even you can't.
I loved that part.
They can't sleep. They can't sleep unless they hear the ocean, right?
Yes, I thought that was really cool too. Because I kind of feel that way often. For me, if we're answering the question, I would say it's the rain for me. Like when it rains, I feel so cleansed, like deep in my soul. And I truly believe that the rain comes to let me know that like, even if something shitty happened, that I'm still on the right like path. Like it was meant to happen, even if it's not like the greatest thing, like when you lose people and things like that along the way. I swear, every time someone dies, it rains to like let me know, like, hey, it's okay. Or if just like something crappy happened and I'm really unsure about it, I feel like the rain lets me know, like, you're gonna be fine. I don't know. So maybe that's like what I am connected to in that way. Ooh, nature in general.
Where did it go? One of them says, When We Believed in Mermaids is a book about two sisters who were both abused and neglected in their childhoods, who deal with their pasts in two different ways. What's right? What's wrong? What is an unforgivable crime? And what can eventually be forgiven?
Is that a question? Or were you like...
I mean, that's one of the questions. And then the next one I actually...
Oh, I thought that was like a review you were reading. I was like, oh, is this like... Or like, the blurb that gets you to read a book?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
No,
that was a question. Okay. I think the sisters needed to learn to forgive themselves and each other for the things that happened to them that they couldn't control. Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's right? What's wrong? I mean, they're so young. There was no... I mean, as they got older, what's right? What's wrong? Like, should she have...
Yeah, I mean, as you get older, it's different.
Killed herself. But again, like, should she killed herself? Was she in the right mind? She wasn't even in the right mind. She was drugged. She obviously could have told her husband eventually, like, hey, by the way.
I don't think she ever planned to, which she did.
No. I don't think she did plan to. Yeah. But it was catching up to her. It was like starting to fester, you know. And maybe that's why she was obsessed with the house and the death of the person, to give her something to hyper focus on, to avoid you know, everything that was like starting to, you
Come
know,
forward.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That gave us, like, going backwards now, that gave us, you know, it gave a reason why she would freak out, why she would be on TV. You know, it kind of tied in that a little. They gave maybe probably a little too much information, but it gave us, you know, like, oh, there's this historical house, blah blah blah. You know,
yeah.
it gave a reason why she was obsessed with it, and yada yada yada. But
Yeah. I think that I just thought more was going to come of that house story.
oh yeah,
So I was like, when it fell off at the end, I was like, what did you do? Push the story
well,
off?
now I'm like, now I'm connecting dots of like, okay, yeah, because that's what put her on TV. She was trying to avoid, like, kind of saying like, you can't avoid it forever. You know, she was on the news and that freaked her out, you know, and then now she's on this other show, and
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
like your like it's you can't hide from your past.
Mm.
So should she have told her husband eventually? I
Yeah.
think she should have, but so much time had passed where it's like, how do you know?
Yeah, what's the point? Or will you ever really find out? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that like the major point though for me was just that the girls needed to learn to like not only forgive each other for the decisions that they made. Obviously, it's more like Kit needed to forgive Josie, but I think that Josie and Kit both needed to forgive themselves for like their past and the reasons that they are now where they're at. Because sometimes things are just kind of thrown in our way that, like, obviously we can't control, but sometimes we're not even old enough to be able to control how we react to them either. So,
Okay, I'm gonna ask this last one. It says Kit is a broken person who doesn't know how broken she really is. Josie fakes her death in order to recreate her life. Both sisters must confront their past and its secrets in order to move forward in their lives. Which sister has more at stake? Whose story is When We Believed in Mermaids? So I think that that's part of it. So in that question where it says that, you know, Kit doesn't even realize how broken she is, right? So it takes Javier for her to realize, and being on a vacation and trying to find her sister, right? But it takes opening her heart even at all to realize how much she's missing
would
out on.
you still feel that way if Javier wasn't a part of the story and she found her sister and they had to kind of, and everything went the same path, right? Where she goes out to try and find her. She's on this kind of like manhunt around there, looking into places, talking to locals, which, you know, she does eventually talk to like locals who end up like leading her to her sister. She meets the family, things start coming out. At the end, she decides, like, okay, I've gotten my information. I am going to make peace with that, even if I feel still kind of disconnected to her. Would you still feel like Javier was that big, important thing if at the end she goes home and she's still questioning, like, did I do the right thing? Should I have spent more time with my sister? Should I maybe reconsider what I'm doing in my life? And then her sister comes to meet her. Her sister comes across the globe to meet her where she's at, to say, hey, like, I don't want to lose you. And I was willing to flip my entire life and everyone in it and come clean with everything so that I could be in your life, so that I can give you the person that I should have been years ago. Would you feel like Javier was still as important, knowing how important that connection was for her sister? Because had her sister shown up to the mom's house at the end and surprised her, that would have been enough for her character, is what I mean. Not enough for me as a reader. I mean, for her character. I think that would have shown her enough about herself.
I agree with that.
And could have healed so many broken parts of her, because she had to forgive her sister for the things that happened with Dylan. She had to forgive her sister for killing her own self off and disappearing all these years. She had to.
And then her sister, in doing that, found her insta love with Simon and
Right.
was able to create this magical family and have babies that now, like, her sister
So-
doesn't have because of her own trauma. So, like,
So could
would
that
she have had to also kill herself? But, like, she didn't need her sister to
No,
do that.
No, but she didn't need Javier, some rando dude, to do that. That's the point, though. It's like, why is it that she needed this random guy to show her that she's lovable when, like, really it was her mom who in the end did start to show back up for her. It was her sister in the end who did show back up for her. And why is it that seeing that her sister could have this horribly traumatic life, these bad things that happen, these bad decisions that she made along the way, disappear and decide to reinvent herself and become the person that she never had for herself, and including this amazing relationship with this great guy who decides, you know what, like, even though you had all these secrets, and even though it hurts me to think that you think I wasn't good enough to know them, or that I would leave you, that you're not good enough if I know them. Like, why wouldn't how Simon treated Mari in the end be good enough to show Kit that, like, she also could have something like that? And then maybe it would feel less forced that she had this, like, relationship with Javier. Like, maybe he could have been the side character, and eventually she's like, oh, maybe I want to explore that now that I, feel like these kind of loose ends are tied with my family. I don't know. I guess that I look to family and bonds like that to, like, help me figure out, like, who I am and things like that. Whereas, like, I don't think that a man is necessary to that part of, like, even my own story. Not that I didn't fall in love and then I don't have this great marriage, but I mean, we have our things. Obviously, everybody goes up and down in their marriages, but I just don't think that, like, the connection to everything that I am is, like, the man that I'm with, per se. And it's not always going to be, obviously, the reasons that I do things. A lot of that is going to be based on my history prior to him. You know what I mean? And nor do I think that CJ had to teach me that I was lovable or deserved a healthy relationship just because my dad didn't give me one. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to connect those things.
See,
Like, my relationship with my sister is strong enough. My relationship with mom is strong enough. My relationship with my friends and myself is good enough after all these years, but I guess I felt like the sister connection was more than enough, that I didn't think that some random dude needed to be that.
See, I didn't look at Javier as somebody that was showing her that she was lovable. I looked at it as she had been just avoiding any kind of connection as a safety net with her, and he was at another relationship that she was avoiding to have, not because she didn't think she was lovable, she was just wanting to isolate herself, and this was just a way to show her, like, you know what, this is a good thing. Why am I isolate? Not him showing her that she's good enough, but just
No, I didn't necessarily think that that's what it was about. It wasn't her
oh,
showing that she's good enough. That wasn't what I mean. What I mean is the relationship that she ended up having with her sister should have been enough for her to see that, like, she's worthy of allowing herself to have those kinds of connections outside of, like, you know what I mean? Because she had, like, obviously safeguarded her heart based on, like,
yeah.
seeing her parents together, and then seeing how her sister behaved in relationships when she was quite young, and then having her heart broken at, like, 17. All of those things, yeah, lead to her going, you know what? I'm just not going to give any time to love.
Well, even
But I
with her
do
mom, she
feel like
wouldn't.
if Javier was not a part of the story, that her relationship with her sister in the end and her sister's relationship with her husband would have shown her enough. I do feel like that she would have learned just from that. I don't think that Javier was necessary to teach her that. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I see that, but I feel like Javier wasn't even there as a lesson. at all. I didn't view him as any kind of lesson for her. Just an opportunity that she had kept herself from. Unless if that makes sense. I don't know.
No, it does. I just think that the story tried to make him seem like some fucking hero for her when really it was herself. And it was like her sister. And like I said, I just think that like had her sister just come out at the end, like Javier could have sent the emails and like done his thing and really like spent time like getting to know her, waiting. Had her sister just shown up, I feel like I personally would have been like, man, that is solid. That's a solid fucking ending. That is a solid move that her sister made for her after all these fucking years.
I think she's trying to tell you that you just need to show up. She wants you to show up at her house. That's what she's saying. Just show up at her house.
Yeah, but I just mean like, but I think that's enough. Sometimes that you just, you know, I guess I just felt like her sister was enough, that she didn't need a fucking Javier. Like her sister showing up at the end was so fucking epic that like, that was great.
Yeah, no, I
because
think
they thought the way that it was going to go was that like, oh, she was going to decide that she was going to go back to New Zealand. That's how I thought it was going to go. That like maybe she was just traveling, but then her sister showing up at the end, I got teary eyed reading that part, and it's still yes, in the end is a fucking 3.5 star. Even after I almost cried fucking reading that part.
I mean, it was when
I did find out, not when Javier was like, oh hey, I'm here too, guys. And I was like,
that made me giggle that he was there. I was like, really? He came along too? Like, when did they sit all together? And then he was like going to dinners at the sister's house too. I was like,
family reunion happened.
Dinner? Like,
yes, it's a family reunion. Like,
he has a house. Why is he going to dinner with their family?
Breakfast, like fucking pancakes. Like, the fuck out of here. This is a family reunion. You do not belong. You didn't need to
like, he doesn't even live in New Zealand. Why is he going? Like, how long is he in New Zealand for?
Right? The fuck, bro. Like, he was on some fucking quest because his friend killed himself. So I get it. That's like a little side story that like we still didn't get a whole lot of. More.
But I didn't catch that part. What? What?
Yeah, he was kind of taking a break, visiting his friend in New Zealand because his other friend fucking killed himself, and he's like upset about it.
Huh. I missed that part somehow. That's okay.
And even then, I was like,
so that's how they connect.
Your friend is not more important than Dylan killing himself, and I know he fucking did. It must have been the way that she wrote out like some part of it that made me think that. Because they did say it last time, and I was like, maybe I got it wrong. I did not get it wrong. So something told me. Something in the way it was. Yeah, he was talking about staying in New Zealand, like at the end. Yeah, he should have stayed there. He should have let them have their like fucking family reunion. That was how many years overdue? How many years later is this?
I guess he was like, Simon's going. Why can't I?
15 years.
Yeah, 15 years since the three of them have been together, and you're just gonna fucking tag along.
Well, Simon needs like a guy to be around when the girls do their girl thing. Simon needs a buddy.
Simon has his kids.
Simon needs a side quest of making his stomach not soft anymore. That's his goal, right? He's a fitness guy.
No.
The kids are gonna be with grandma. The sisters are gonna do their sister thing, and then Simon needs to make Javier like more fit.
No. Simon already is part of the family, so he needs to be there to like be with the kids. Whatever his
wife gonna take the kids to like down SoCal to Disneyland. You know, have like just grandma kids.
And Javier is not gonna fucking go with them. He's gonna stay back so he can put a soft old peep in her.
Oh my god.
Fold it in half and smush it in.
Oh my god.
I can go there and you'd be annoyed, so do it.
Listen, recently
is there a
I read
in Tasha's past. Did you know a Javier?
We knew a Javier. And Felicity.
Did you ever watch Felicity? College show
Uh,
back in the day.
A little bit. Not, I never like watched it, but
Go watch it. It is literally Tosh and CJ and I.
We
They
rewatched
like every year. It's been a few years since I've watched it, but every
I
year.
tried, but like Felicity kind of really annoyed me.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But it
It
was
was
the other
annoying.
great. She annoyed everybody. All the side characters. Megan, best character, hands down.
She's the
So
Pink
good.
Ranger. Is that the Pink Ranger?
No,
No,
the Pink
worst character.
Ranger's
She was the worst character. She was worse than Felicity. Fuck her ass. I hated her on that show. Hated her on that show. She was the most obnoxious
from start to end. She was pretty obnoxious.
I like
from beginning to end. Yeah, and she was a fucking bitch. Like fuck her ass. Fucking glad she was.
mean, she had some shit happen to her. But
That did not matter though. She was a piece of shit from literally the get. So it didn't even fucking matter that happened. They did that because they needed us to start feeling something for her. And we were like, fuck no, we still don't. And that's why they took her off the show. But anyways, the point is, one of the main characters is from, like, originally from Canada. And just his accent, for whatever reason, he could not say another main character's name, which is Javier. And because of his little accent, he always called him Javier. And even in the show, she points it out. They like wrote it into the show because it was so fucking hilarious that he could not do it. But anyways, Javier.
Scott Speedman.
Mm,
Dominique. Scott Speedman.
No.
Oh, is that Javier?
No, that is Ben Covington, who mispronounced Javier.
Oh, I'm following now.
Javier is also a fantastic character on that show.
Okay.
Necessary character.
Oh my gosh, Tosh, did you know that he was literally born in London?
Who?
Scott Speedman.
I didn't know he was born there. I just thought he grew up in like Canada or some shit. Because I thought he was Canadian citizen.
No, it says Hammersmith, London, UK.
Well, that doesn't mean he grew up there, though.
British-born Canadian actor and model.
There you go. So he grew up in Canada. There you go. No, I don't know he was born in England, but did you know I was born in Northern California, but raised in the Southern?
I didn't know that.
His first name is Robert. Instead of Scott is his middle name.
Desiree is going to go down an ADHD spiral right now.
I was about to say
Sorry.
that was information. That
Let me go
Yes,
back.
in your face. She was like, "Oh fuck, I was." Or she's gonna like, "What else has he been in?"
I was. Listen, I was trying to see the last thing he'd been in because, like, I watched the stuff that they've been in. Right, the last movie that he was in looks like some scary movies in 2024. He was in some TV show, Animal Kingdom.
I don't know.
like a narrator for National Geographic.
Don't think so. Don't think so.
Well, anyway, you know what we forgot to do was show the giveaway.
Did we do it?
We'll have
It's on
to,
here.
yeah. I mean, you can definitely still show it, but we'll have to post it on the page.
Yeah, I sent the names there in our text, so they can be
Uncover the rich and diverse flavors of
Maori cookbook.
Yum. That looks yummy right there. I don't even like chicken. Is that fish? Maybe that's fish, and that's why it looks good.
Pork.
Let's see.
It
You
looks
think
like
it's pork?
Could
Maybe.
be.
I don't know. I feel like it looks like a little cut of swordfish or some shit, but I don't know. Maybe it is pork, in which case I don't like it anymore, but its grill marks are beautiful.
It is.
It looks yummy. I love all these fucking cookbooks that we're doing.
Listen, I really need for everybody to make stuff and then send us the recipes so we too can make them.
Ooh, like if you make something that's like really good, fucking share it.
Has anybody made
Absolutely.
anything yet?
I don't even know who's
Is anybody
won.
on
I don't
here?
remember. I think it was Rebecca, but she wasn't on for very long.
Jessica got last.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2. So who's the third one?
You haven't done any cooking yet. You need to let us know if anything's worth trying in your recipe book.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Share.
Boy, it's a lot of gray today.
Well, let's just rapido this right up.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say we could probably just say goodnight at this point and call it early. 15 minutes. That's nice.
I think so. Then I can go take a shower before I put the kids to bed.
Yeah. So, all right, you guys. We will see you all back tomorrow night at 5:30 Pacific Daylight Time for our unboxing of Devil of Dublin by Judy Easton. I'm excited about this trip to Ireland. May you be in heaven half an hour before the devil knows you're dead. I've heard that for years and years and years. I loved that. That was like right
Is that
here.
a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
All righty.
Night bees.
Have a good night, bitches. We'll see you tomorrow.